Hi, Geography 340 students. We're going to talk today about official community plans and land use designations. Now, this is an overview designed to help you with assignment 4 that you're going to be working on and submitting for Monday. When you see the term official community plan, here in British Columbia, an official community plan helps communities say what their vision is for the future for their communities. Just so that you're aware, other communities in North America use slightly different terms, but they basically mean the same thing. So in Alberta, they will often use the term municipal development plan. In Washington State, they will use a comprehensive plan, and in California, a general plan. These are all documents that look very, very similar. So they're pretty much the same thing. Now, sometimes in BC, we will use the term OCP, which is just an abbreviation. So anytime you hear either of those terms, you'll have a better sense of what to expect. The other thing to know, because it was a requirement in your assignment, is what we mean when we talk about land use maps or OCP maps or official community plan maps or land use designations. Again, these are all the same thing, but what they are a stated intention in map form of what the vision is for the future of the community. So that map tells us that no matter what's happening now, in future, if there's a desire by the property owner to make a change, here is what the acceptable change could include. And so quite often there are a range of acceptable uses linked with the designation in the map. It's probably a little theoretical right now. This is why I wanted you to actually start looking at some of these maps so that you could get a better sense on your own. So we're going to walk through an example from the community of View Royal first and then Saanich. So let's go and just do a Google search on View Royal Official Community Plan Map, which you see here. But when you do a Google search on this, you will come up with a couple of different choices. Of course, the most direct choice will involve going straight to the maps, View Royal. You won't waste a lot of time that way, but don't go there yet. It's often good to sometimes just at least take a look at the larger official community plan. So if you click here on the whole official community plan and pull it up, you'll see you've got a pretty darn big document. It's well over 200 pages. And you'll see in the table of contents that there's a lot of information in text form about the land use designations. If you have time, if you're curious, it's always worth just skimming these, but if you don't, that's fine. I just want you to know where they are so that if you live in an area and you do want to investigate your area a little bit more, that you understand that it's worth going in this way too to get the most detail. But what you really want to do is look at the land use designations. These are often contained at the back or at the end of the bigger plan document as a schedule, but as you'll note, many communities also make it easy for you to cut straight to the chase and look at the land use designations map without having to go through that big 200-page document. So in View Royal, when you click on this, you will very quickly come to see this lovely colorful map. And if you zoom in on the legend, you will see it explains to you what the different colors mean. Now, there are some conventions, but they're not uniform. So yellow is a very common color that many communities use to denote residential. But as you can see in View Royal, they've used brown, a mixed residential, which is a color that sometimes gets used for industry. So anyway, the upshot is you really need to always look at the specific community's legend and which colors they're using for which land use. Now let's turn to Saanich here for a minute. So if you do the same kind of search with Saanich, you'll eventually come up with the official community plan. Like View Royal, you do have an option to download the whole darn thing, and it's 12 megabytes, which means it's going to take up some space on your computer if you do that. Or you have a chance to go to a specific land use map. And when you click on that, you'll again get a similar kind of map for Saanich. But what's a little bit different with Saanich is that Saanich is a bigger community. It has more people and an expectation of more development, most likely. So they have also attached as appendices to their plan more detail on specific local areas. So they do this in the form of local area plans or center and corridor plans. And when we looked at the Uptown example in a prior class, we were looking at a center and corridor plan that was attached to the larger official community plan. So it's kind of like there's an order to things. When you need to get detailed about specific areas, those areas are seen as detail on the bigger plan, but the bigger plan is still the most important one. So that brings up a related question. What happens if something in the local plan is at odds with something in the larger official community plan? And interestingly enough, in the event of a conflict, unless the OCP says we're going to spell out more detail in the area plan, or we think the area plan is going to be the more valid, typically if there is a conflict, the bigger OCP wins. So it's really valuable to look at both maps. I hope this helps you and makes it a little easier for you to wade through these documents and use them for your assignment. If you do have any questions, feel free to get in touch via email. I'll probably look at some emails on Saturday, so I'm certainly happy to answer a question for you then. And otherwise, good luck with the assignment, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you come up with.